Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Elise. I'm the founder and creator of EliseDanielle.com. I just wanted to pop by today and have a little bit of a chat with you about intuitive eating. So if you're familiar with my website or with my blog, you'd have heard me refer to this before. And at the very first glance, intuitive eating sounds like something that should be quite intuitive, obviously. It sounds like something that we should innately be able to know how to do. But as you and I both know, sometimes it's not that easy. So today I just wanted to talk to you about what my approach is to intuitive eating, how I like to look at it. And I'm going to give you a take home today to start to try your best at intuitive eating. So I'm going to give you one little tip that you can start practicing straight away. So I like to look at intuitive eating as more of a concept rather than a hard and fast definition. There's already heaps of different rules and guidelines that you're being bombarded with day to day in the health and wellness field. So I'm not going to give you any more rules that you necessarily need to follow. I like to look at intuitive eating as a concept. So it's an approach to eating that allows us to really be the expert of our own bodies. So we're going to stop looking outside of ourselves for the answers. We're going to stop confusing ourselves with all the conflicting information that's out there. And all we really need to do is start to turn our awareness inwards and to start to really feel into the body, really observe how we're feeling on an emotional and a physical level, and use the feedback of our bodies to be able to learn and make changes from that. So we're really becoming the experts here. We're stopping looking outside of ourselves and turning that internal awareness inwards. So it's also an approach to eating that really allows us to be mindful. So we're stopping when we eat. We're paying attention to how we feel before, during, and after. So we're not eating mindlessly. We're not multitasking. We're not standing in front of the fridge as we're shoveling food into our faces. We've all been there. It's fine. But we just want to start to move from a place of connection rather than disconnection. And that can be a bit of a journey sometimes. And finally, I like to look at intuitive eating as an approach that really helps us to look at our hunger cues. So we're starting to learn a bit about ourselves this way. We're observing what hunger looks like in our bodies physically, even aside from that rumbling feeling in your belly. And we're looking at the difference between emotional hunger and physical hunger. And we're paying attention to that. And we're only feeding our bodies when we're actually physically hungry, not just because the clock says it's lunchtime or because this is the time we normally eat at. We're starting to really check in with ourselves and filling ourselves up on whole nutritious food. So overall, I like to look at intuitive eating as a way of making peace with our food and our bodies. And that's really huge. That's big. I'm going to even say it again. So intuitive eating is a way to make peace with ourselves and our bodies. We're no longer fighting our bodies. We're not battling with our mind. We're throwing in the towel of the battle with willpower. And we're starting to really look inside and tune in to see what our bodies actually need. And we're using that information to make consistent choices. And it's going to be much easier to follow through from that rather than looking externally and following a set of rules, because we all know how long those last for. So I just want to touch on this point once more. Way making peace with our food and our bodies. Our self-worth is not tied in to the big salad that you eat or the bag of chips that you've just maybe consumed. It doesn't make you a better person if you've chosen the big salad over the bag of chips. So we need to stop attributing our self-worth to how healthy we eat. Completely separate. Our self-worth has nothing to do with how well or not well we're eating. And that's also a process that I think really unfolds as you start to delve in to intuitive eating. So I'm going to give you one take home now. a way that you can start eating intuitively straight away. I want you to pick a meal. I really recommend your first meal of the day because it's easiest to really check in with our hunger cues. And I want you to wait until you actually feel the grumbling in your belly before you begin to eat. So wake up in the morning, go about your business. You can make a hot cup of herbal tea. I really recommend staying away from caffeine to try this exercise out, as caffeine can really diminish your hunger. Have a cup of herbal tea, have some lemon water, and just do what you normally do. Get ready for work. Maybe you write down your to-do list. Maybe you do some light stretching. Do whatever it is that you normally do in the morning, but wait for those hunger cues. Don't just eat because you've woken up and it's breakfast time. Take some time to see what hunger feels like in your body, even aside from the grumbling in your belly. And once you do start to feel those hunger cues, then sit down, prepare your meal, take your time, do it as mindfully as you can. Really pay attention to the food that you're about to eat. And then I want you to sit down and take 5 deep breaths. And doing a bit of a scan through the body as you do this. So you're checking in, observing your energy levels, how you're feeling today, if you're grumpy, if you're in a good mood, really checking in with all of that. And it doesn't matter what you're feeling, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant. We're just checking in, noticing where we're starting from. And once you've kind of done a little bit of a inventory, then you can start to eat. And pay attention to your food. So observe the smells, observe the tastes, observe the textures, and really enjoy it. Put down your fork in between chews. Try not to multitask. I'm throwing in a couple extra tips here. And really enjoy the process. Just observe how you feel. Notice when you start to feel the satisfaction cue. So not just a feeling of extreme fullness. We want to notice when we start to become satisfied, and then we want to stop eating at that point. So let me know how you go. I know it's a little bit to take in, but just try that 1 meal a day. Take some time, couple deep breaths before you eat, and pay attention to how you're feeling. So please let me know how you go with this exercise. I'd love to hear your feedback. You can come over to EliseDanielle.com, check out my blog. I have lots of little tips. Sign up for my newsletter. I've got lots of recipes, really good tips on intuitive eating. I throw some yoga information in there, and you'll get all of this delivered straight to your inbox. So I'd love you to come join me. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.